how did I get into real estate? I guess it wasn't by design. It was actually by a bit of a fluke, really. I'd lived in Launceston for about 20 years. There's always been some sort of connection with real estate in my family. My brother-in-law and sister owned an agency in Victoria. My partner's been an agent for 20 years. I sort of dabbled with the idea occasionally about getting into real estate. I even started the course here in Tasmania. And about 3 years ago, we relocated to Queensland, and my partner fell pregnant again. Basically, she said, look, she was a one-man operation and she needed assistance, like if she had morning sickness or something like that. How are we going to do open homes? And I said, well, look, I'll just go off and get my licence and I'll help you out on the weekends, if I have to. And funny enough, I was a postie. I had a postie contract in Queensland. And that's a really great insight into learning a lot about people as well, being a postie and dropping off parcels. So I went and got my licence and never was required to do any work for my partner. The opportunity never happened. And then I sort of got sick of doing postal work because it's pretty flat out and I'm not young anymore. I saw this ad for a careers night in real estate. So I went along, met the principal. He was lucky enough to give me a job. And I was always a bit of self-doubt about what I could do, because real estate agents always seem a bit flashy and whatever. I thought, I'm just not up to this. But I started doing a few open homes. I tried to be a bit fake and well, not try to be a bit fake, but I wasn't my authentic self, I guess. And then one day my principal said to me, he said, just be you, mate, And I said, I'm a bit of a knocker. And he said, no, just be you. It's going to work. Just be authentically you. And I said, all right, I'll give it a crack. So I just went back to being normal, old, authentic me. And all of a sudden I got massive traction. Like in my first year in real estate in Queensland, I did 15 sales with average days on market of 21 with an average sale price of 1.2 million. And I had no network there, nothing. But I realised there was a couple of key elements. Obviously, my authenticity seemed to work. And then like a lot of other things, I come from a hospitality background, I just got really passionate about people and service to people. And that passion translated into great energy in doing open homes, talking to potential clients. I got passionate about doing the photography, floor plans, just sold in one particular community. So I became very passionate about being involved in my community, supporting the local sporting clubs. I became the local JP. So I'd be signing documents for all the old ladies at the coffee shop on a Friday morning because they couldn't get into the courthouse to sign documents. I have an inbuilt passion for anything I do. Whether when I was a chef, I was passionate about food. I was passionate about giving great customer service. And then another level came in, and that was my principal said to me at the time, he said, just know your numbers, mate. Just really know your numbers. And I said, what do you mean know your numbers? He said, just know everything about your area. Just become super knowledgeable. So I went down this bit of a rabbit hole, as I generally do, where in my little community, I could rattle off the last 10 sales, the last 10 sale prices, where the local coffee shop was, where the best restaurant was, where the best childcare was, where the best hospital was, where the best doctors. I just became so knowledgeable about my area, which then just took me to a whole other level. Like I'd have buyers ringing me to find out about the area and what's the most particular street to buy in, because I just became so key focused on knowledge. And I guess the other really integral point was I have a real core value of integrity. My old man always said to me, he said, whatever you do in your life, always maintain your integrity, because if you lose it, it's so hard to get it back. You can do other things in your life, stupid mistakes or whatever, and you can always overcome them. But if you compromise your integrity, you'll be working the rest of your life to get that back. So I guess my early success in this business came from, just being super authentic, super passionate about what I was doing, super knowledgeable about the area I was working in, and then just maintaining my integrity. It's really interesting. I follow this guy called Simon Sinek, and I watched a TED Talk once where he's talking about how people go to conferences and they ask you to stand up and say who you are. And most people stand up and say, my name's Lee Christmas, I'm a father of 4, I'm a real estate agent, or I'm a doctor, or whatever I'm doing for a job. And they define themselves by their particular career or what their duty is in life. And I guess what we've just talked about now, I define myself as who is Lee Christmas. I guess I am someone that is authentic, passionate, knowledgeable, and I guess maintain my integrity. And all those things combined, I think, make me a good father, a good real estate agent, a good partner, just an all-round good person if I can maintain those core principles.